Hello there, esteemed viewers. You're welcome to Daybreak Africa on Television Nigeria. Daybreak Africa on Television Nigeria is a news and current affairs magazine program on this channel that takes a critical look at topical issues under the sun, which includes politics, entertainment, fashion, foreign affairs, sports, and many more. But today, our conversation borders on Nigerian politics, the journey so far. My name is Macaulay Hunahashi, and our special guest is someone very, very interesting you will love to meet and see. He is man of many parts. He is first on so many areas in this country and outside. He is no other person than Cardinal Comrade Edede Franklin Mwadwabuchi Capacity. That's what he called himself. And Mwadwabuchi is on set with us to help us, sift this conversation on Nigerian politics. How far, so far. Let me tell you a little bit about Mwadwabuchi. You're welcome.
My pleasure.
A little bit about him. He is, to the glory of God, he says, a graduate of international relations from Imo State University, a renowned award-winning investigative journalist, a well-known rights activist, and public affairs analyst of international repute. I told you earlier on, he's former this, former that, and amongst them are former national leader, National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. He led NANS during the critical era of this democratic journey, and before the democracy was ushered. He is also former National Youth Council of Nigeria national leader, and former president, African Youth Economic and Business Summit Group, former special advisor to the former governor of Bayelsa State, and today he is a candidate with the ambition to go to the House of Representatives to represent Ahiazu Ezin Hite Umbese Federal Constituency of, you correct me later if I'm wrong with that, because I'm not an Igbo. Under the flag, he's the flag bearer of ABGA, the All Progressives Grant Alliance, to represent his own constituency at the National Assembly, precisely the House of Representatives. You're welcome once again, Comrade Capacity. Why those names? The names are loaded. Tell me, how did you come about those names?
Yeah.
You are a cardinal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Cardinal Comrade.
Cardinal Comrade. Cardinal.
Yeah.
Cardinal has to do with Catholic.
Yeah.
And cardinals are only found, in Nigeria there are not more than 4.
Yeah. The acronym, the nomenclature, cardinal is derived from the level you've been able to operate on the struggle, on the discharging of your struggle towards the emancipation of mankind, especially the young generation.
Okay.
So, we have comrades, we have arch-comrades, like you have archbishop, you have now cardinal. I think soon, by the grace of God, I will be papal comrade.
Papal comrade, yes. In Nigeria. What about the capacity?
So the capacity was given to me by Nigerian young people because, I do things people feel they can't do.
Okay.
I'm a rare gem, and that thing you cannot do, come to me, I will do it.
Wouldn't that amount to self-praise? You say you're a rare gem.
Yeah, by the grace of God.
Self-praise?
Yes, I can do all things through God who strengthens
you.
So, it is out of fearlessness, it is out of commitment, it is out of resilience. In Nigeria, our generation would always wait for things to be done for them. Okay. So for some of us, we always approach, we dare the status quo, and we always find ourselves achieving that. So if you can create a content and you see yourself, flourishing in that, and people look at you from a kind of envious angle. So thing happened in the past when nobody could dare Alimodi Sherif in PDP. Okay. So Alimodi Sherif invaded PDP. In fact, everybody ran away. All the leaders got threatened. Okay. They couldn't near Wadata. So I was called upon by the likes of Dobosi and all that, the leaders. So after they had, tried to call anybody, people were running from Sherif. Sherif tomorrow still like a monster, So, but when they called me, I had an arrangement with Sherif. He reneged on our agreement. So I told him, I said, you are going to go down. I didn't know. I didn't know the forces behind the forces, like the leaders of the party, were going to be involved in that. I was organizing on my own as, you know, a very strong person, an influential young leader in the country. So when the call came, I was invited to Hilltop Mansion, AIT. So by 1 a.m., as I went there, the issue was that somebody called me capacity, said, we want to remove Sheriff.
Okay.
I said, we are tired. All of them were sleeping in that place. Nobody could dare survive. Sheriff was like, you know, a dreaded entity of his
But you dared him.
I just went there. I said, is it Sheriff you people are talking about? They say, can I do it? I say, if I don't do it, the next thing, before 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, call me a bastard.
Okay.
I said, I don't need your money, because I know I've always been an ambitious person, not inordinately though. Then when they said, okay, before it was during rainy season, before 6 o'clock, Ojigbo was there. Cairo Ojigbo, before he left PDP, Shehu Gabam, the now national chairman of SDP, led by Dogbesi and other leaders. They were in his house, in his palace, they were in his dining, thinking of how to redeem the party.
Okay.
So I became the Moses, and when I came, all the whole young people that were lined up there, they were like, when they saw me, they said, this guy, if he's going to be involved, we will realize it. So I said, here am I, send me. Don't give me anything. So what I was given was a peanuts for transport and to fuel my car. The next morning, I mobilized more than 50,000. Before 6 o'clock, it was raining everywhere in Abuja, but I dared the rain. The likes of Chris Oba, all of them, they were calling me. My governor now was on the side of Sheriff then. So to say that.
What was your governor then?
My governor is His Excellency Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma. You know, a performing governor. This is my man tomorrow. So, you know, when we got there, I called Sheriff. Sheriff called me and offered me 5 million through his detail, DSP Saleh.
Okay.
And that was somebody we had agreement that you're going to be youth-oriented in your administration, because we didn't want him. He took Barrister Lisa Metu. He took 2 other persons to call me to say, please, let's allow Alimoti Sheriff. So when we went into private conversation, so we had agreement, we had a deal that you're going to work with the young people so that this party can be more formidable again. So he pictured that. So it was on that note it was on that note I went and I lied. He was on the ground. In fact, I flogged them out of Wadata, and I took over Wadata.
And that was the end of Sheriff.
It was the end of Sheriff, and that is why PDP are still going to, since they betrayed everything I did for them, they have been finding it difficult to rise again. And until they come.
Now let me ask you this question. It will be a little bit up and close. I can see politics runs in your blood, because you've been former this and former that right from your youthful days. And today you are in APGA.
I'm still not a
you're still,
person.
You're still not
right from my
secondary
school days,
Okay, politics, you've been in a political journey. But now you are a partisan, and you have ambition to represent your constituency at the House of Representatives. Let me ask you this personal question. What motivated you to be in politics? Because you can affect change without necessarily being partisan.
No, I take exception to that your allusion. The thing is that, first of all, I have never been a politician, and I don't think I'll be one. You know, they say, you know, the people say
you're not a politician.
No, I am not. I'm a political activist. They say politics is a dirty game.
Okay.
And if it is dirty, if it controls the neat people, let us be dirty together and correct the dirtiness. So you can't say it is dirty. Politics controls your life. It even controls the air you breathe. It controls the clothes. It controls the food. It controls the house you rent. It controls virtually everything humanity gets involved. All the strata of human endeavor. Yeah. Politics controls it. Okay. Everywhere. Even politics could control how much you worship God. It controls how much you worship God.
But being partisan is when you decide to belong to a political party.
Being partisan here is I don't want to involve myself with the kind of politics that is played in Africa, particularly in Nigeria. No, we are coming to change. No, we are changing the narrative. We are shifting the paradigm.
But from within.
No, we are within, because you cannot buy it from afar. So, because from the secondary school, I was games captain all through my life. I played ball. I won trophies, and back to back until not until I was offered scholarship to school free in the school.
Okay.
So it's been running from JS1 from my primary school.
Okay.
From my primary school I was games captain. From secondary school I was games captain, and I got involved in the university, and I saw that by virtue of the society we find ourselves, what you need to do is to go into emancipational struggle, because if you don't dare the status quo, you're not going to effect any change, because the status quo is rotten. So if you had met a very friendly and a very serene environment where, you know, people will be who they are without going through any process, any clandestine process of becoming who they want to be. If we found ourselves in a society where you want to be a councillor and your father does not need to be a former governor before you become. If we found ourselves in a society where you want to be a House of Assembly member and your father was not a president for you to become that. So people like us would have tried to support the old normal. So what we are agitating for now is a new normal that is possible. I came to realize in this society that if you don't dare the status quo, nobody will know you, and except you are sincerely doing that, you won't strive. Yeah. So what we're doing is not even getting involved in. I ran an election in 2019. I tried to go to House of Reps under the platform of PDP, but the forces that are holding Nigeria down still stopped us. They didn't want us to come because what they like is those people, they will say, hey, sit here, they will sit there. Those people that will not ask questions when they take decision on their behalf. Those people that will not say, why can't we do this thing like this? We don't insult anybody. What we're saying is that do the right thing. And if you don't do the right thing, we'll keep fighting. We are fighting intellectually. It's no longer protesting on the streets of the country, because we did that in the past. We were incarcerated, we were rusticated, did a lot of issues were hanged on our head. I was incarcerated for 11 months. I was incarcerated for 4 months.
How many times?
More than 5 times.
Okay.
And most times my parents were thinking I was a black sheep, you know. And at the time I was trying to make them understand that this thing I'm fighting now is going to take me somewhere. Today my parents, my village, my community, I'm the most proud son they have. So even when it got to, I was in detention, I was called to come and write my degree exam, and I was called to come and sign so I could go for service. I said, no, I wasn't going to sign anything. I will write my degree exam so that tomorrow, some of you that will say, you are doing me a favor, tomorrow will come and they call when I didn't write, you ask me to sign, and you want to use it against me.
Why do you want to replace somebody at the National Assembly?
I'm not replacing anybody. There is already a vacuum. There is nobody in my place representing my people.
You don't have
there is nobody. It's better the seat is vacant than having an idle human being there. So there is nobody. If there was anybody, I have asked questions. I've told them, I said, let the incumbent House of Reps guy of the PDP tell me 1 kilometer road he has attracted. Let him tell me 1 motion he has moved. Let him tell me 1 bill he has supported. Let him tell me 1 person, 2 people from my place he has attracted federal job for. Let him tell me how many people, if not buying ambulances and painting toilets and painting 3-bedroom classroom. That is an insult on our intelligence, on our exposure and all that. We should be talking about a representation that will have to, impact our people. I can't be in the National Assembly and you say you have ecological fund and erosion is ravaging my place. Yeah. And you tell me you're a speaker and I will report how my people are feeling and you are not doing anything about it. I will come there and I will hold the mace, nobody will say anything. And you will tell me that we are paying 11 trillion annually to subsidize fuel, and the fuel is not anywhere to be seen. And all the adjoining, particles of the petroleum, our crude oil, is not even transported back here. What we only get is fuel, and the fuel Nigerians are not getting it. Are we costing this country? Anybody that will stop those who have the real mind to come and fight for Nigerian people, God will punish them this time around.
Thank you.
Because we are going to do what is called an overhaul of the Nigerian system. And people like us that cannot be killed, that cannot be cowed.
Comrade, I know you are someone that cannot be cowed because you are up there and you are so vibrant. And you call a spade, no matter whose ox is God, from what I know about you. Let's talk about a trending story that has dominated the media space in the last couple of days. There was this allegation that the flag bearer of the ruling All Progressives Congress was denied visa to the U.S., which the chief spokesperson, Festus Keyamo, came out to debunk and even release a statement, which he accompanied with the copy of the American visa, which was issued to the presidential candidate on the 18th of November, 2021, last year. How do you make of all this controversy, in the media?
No, first of all, let me take on the character you mentioned, Festus Keyamo. Growing up while in the secondary school, getting into the university, so to say, it was one of the most admirable names, one of the most admired, one of the most cherished names in the activism.
You were working in Ganifa Emi's.
Yes, when the mention of Festus Keyamo's name then was the beginning of taking care. You understand? But today, so disappointingly, Festus Keyamo is not a name anybody in our kind of life would be happy to hear.
Okay.
So I don't want to, anything he says to me is like neither here nor there, because he had disappointed himself, not even us. So going to Bola Tinubu, I don't want to, in the first instance, Bola Tinubu is not supposed to be a presidential candidate in this country.
Well, he's a Nigerian.
He's a Nigerian, but he's deformed.
He's entitled to take a shot.
The entitlement is not for everybody. We can as well go to mortuary and wake people from the morgue and make them to be candidates. He is alive. Being alive is breathing does not mean somebody is alive. You can enjoy your money when you breathe. Allow people who can salvage this country come on board. I don't have any issue with that.
Why don't you allow voters to decide?
No, we must not allow voters. Nobody votes in this country.
Nobody
votes here. The only thing is that you apply to run election, you go and look among sweat and look for who to share and give. Who votes? Do you vote? Do you know the number of your vote? Do you know the code of your vote? In a sane climb, you should know the code of your vote. So that if they say bring the code, until we begin to attach code to our vote, we are still doing normal jamboree in this country. How can somebody that have you seen the Bola Tinubu talk? Have you seen him stand on his own?
Yes, I have.
Somebody that cannot wave until he does like this. And are you going to wave to Nigeria? Are you going to what are you going to do? We are talking of Buhari that had killed us. Even Buhari can move like snake. You see him walk without bending. He just go like this, like a corpse that was brought from this. But this man, you see him it is from Baba to Kaka.
So
it is. Are we serious in this country?
We're talking about visa here.
The visa does not concern me. What is my business with visa? If you not let them give a visa to heaven or hell, it does not concern me.
Okay.
My issue is that who is that person? What is my business? If they like, let heaven give a visa. What is my business? I'm not God. Like let's say Tan granting visa is not my business. My business is Nigeria. If Keyamo likes, let him bring visa granted him tomorrow. I don't want to know. What I'm saying is that we shouldn't be talking about Bola Tinubu in a country of more than 200 million, like the Nigerian Population Commission will always make us know, without census. Now we are more than 200. You don't have. Can't Bola Tinubu even bring his wife? At least bring your wife. Let your wife be the first female president of this country. Bring your wife. And we know that even though your wife is president, it is still you. You will be the first, His Excellency, husband to the president of Nigeria. It's a rank. You have office.
First gentleman.
You have office in the villa where you will be overseeing what a president's wife should have been overseeing.
How do you feel that presidential candidates are invited by a top flight media organization like Arise TV, and for the second time, the flag bearer of the APC has refused.
And he will never attend. Did Buhari attend? Nigerians forget history in a hurry. Buhari, when you don't have anything to offer, call me anytime, any day. I will close my eyes and tell you what I want to do for my people, what I want to do for Nigerians, what my bills, my motions, my character, what I'm coming to do at National Assembly. Call me anytime, even though I'm sleeping. I'll wake up and tell you that look at things that we are coming to challenge. Let Bola Tinubu, Buhari didn't tell us. That is why he doesn't owe any Nigerian anything. Nigerians don't understand. Somebody didn't promise you anything. He was going on campaign. People were speaking. After speaking, he will say Nigeria. That was not a promise. So now Bola Tinubu is now truncating from here to Chatham House. What does Chatham House do? What does it have to do with Nigeria? Come here and tell us we are your locals. You want to govern us. God forbid if he wins president, but God forbid then he will now be in the villa addressing Nigerians in the villa. But you don't want to address them now. So that is to tell you that they have gone so far, both in the spiritual and physical realm, to undo the process, to make sure that these their beavers, their electoral act, all those things are. They did all those things to calm the nerves of Nigerians, because they knew Nigerians were ready to die at that time So what they did was they took their time, had another alternative, and they, pretentiously signed that this thing. And I keep telling Nigerians, I say, these people you believe that have signed electoral bill into act, now it's an act. You think these people don't know what they are doing? There is another road through which they want to achieve their aim. People don't know. Mark my word, Bola Tinubu will never attend any media chat with anybody.
So.
He will never. And he said P2B should, before he will appear with P2B, that P2B should reel out his manifesto, which he has done before the invitation of this. And that was what Buhari was doing in 2015, 2019. He will forecast when there will be a program. His intelligence men will tell him that this is when Arise this will come. He will fix a program that will clash with that one. And he will not fix it in Nigeria. So now he's in Chatham House talking to British, talking to Europeans, talking to foreigners. How many of Nigerians would access his Chatham House conversation? So what we are saying is that I am not surprised, because anything that is bad, it will be completely bad.
But let me, at the Arise TV, the presidential candidates that honored that invitation spoke on the same recurring, issues and challenges that be defiling this country: health, poverty reduction, education, and what have you. Why can't we have anything different?
The one thing, that's why I say I'm not a politician. Politicians will always tell you the same thing, and the same thing things will continue to get worse. And the issue is that I'm not holding, as much as I'm not holding brief for anyone, until we decide our fate by ourselves. I'm not in election. I don't have money, and I tell anybody that is asking me for money, I say, if I give you money, I will win the election and I will not pick your call. I will not talk to you, and I say it anywhere.
Because you have paid him.
Yes, I said I will. As I'm talking to you, I don't have money, and I don't have money doesn't mean I'm poor. I have suffered in this country. I have paid my dues. I've done everything. If I was collecting bribe, collecting money, stealing from all this time I have been in one place or the other, probably by now I would have been touched. I would have been hit by a strep bullet, or maybe my popularity would have reduced. But now what we are looking at is, if I don't live a flamboyant life today, you begin to see me tomorrow in the House of Reps begin to live a flamboyant life. You should be questioning me. So if I don't give you money today, then tomorrow I wouldn't give you money when I have gotten the money. You should question me. Now, if I give you 10,000, 20,000, it's not as if I have my campaign of council where whatever 1 naira I have, I give them, whatever 20 naira I have, I give them, whatever. They know that they are working for me, and they know the character of the person they are working with. And nobody works for me. You are working with me. So what we're saying now is that if I give you 100 million naira, like it was alleged that one of my opponents paid 100 million naira to a particular godfather in the state, and I give you 100 million naira. I couldn't flag the flag of PDP because I couldn't have 100 million naira to pay at that time, and that is the bane of our development tomorrow. So how can a very politically okay mind have 200 million naira to pay you? What is he going to do there?
Exactly.
So if I get in that place, at least I should recoup where I've spent from. Then in the process of my recouping, you'll be calling me. I won't talk to you. So in the next 3-4 years, when I must have recouped, and I will come back and say, okay, let me save for the one I will use to contest again, you will begin to blame the person. The electorates are the problem of our country as well. So it is not about me. I believe God has orchestrated, God has sanctioned this period for people like us to come to National Assembly. And if I come there and disappoint Nigerians, may I not come.
You are a young Nigerian, and you are also actively involved in politics. There's this story that trended in the past couple of days, and it has to do with a young Nigerian. If you remember, in the recent past, Nigeria has passed a cyber stalking law. To curb the spread of fake news and defamatory stories on social media. But a young man became a victim of that law by juxtaposing the president's wife's picture, comparing. It was a comparative.
The previous and the present.
From 2015, how she was looking so emaciated, and now that she's looking robust. I wrote in Hausa that Mama has fed fat on Nigerian money, and look at the way she's looking. He also added some pictures where she displayed her children graduating from universities abroad. And then people supported the young man, saying he has been at home for the past 9 months, before they were asked to resume.
Temporarily.
Exactly. So it was on the basis of that he was angry, and then he posted that picture. And it was alleged that based on her, urging her orders, the man was arrested
and was beaten up,
tortured, taken to court. He was in detention for 2 weeks. Yeah. But the good news is that he has been released.
There is no good news about it.
And there was allegation.
You call that good news? And that is why we are where we are. You see incarceration, unlawful detention. You see somebody being bullied because what would you have told Jonathan when he was president? Jonathan was the most vilified, most castigated, most unjustly criticized president in history of this country. Because Jonathan, if we take Nigeria from where it is now back to where Jonathan was with it, I think Jonathan is Angel Gabriel or Angel Michael. You understand? Now people criticize him that time. But don't forget the bag of rice that time was 8,000, 9,000 naira. Don't forget fuel was 8,000 naira. Don't forget you could go to market and buy anything. I have a baby, the SMA gold that you used to buy at about 900 naira is 4,000 naira, small one. The big one now is almost 8,000 naira. So you don't just suppose the woman is that is the height of disregard. That is the height of impunity, that you have robbed a people, and it's just like you are beating a child and you are determining where the child will go and cry. So these people are ventilating. They are venting. They are trying to show the enormosity of their anger that you and your husband have put them in or through. Then this guy did not commit any crime. What if in a civilized, in a sane society, that woman should have called that guy to offer him job immediately. to just, even though the guy
was alleged to have been invited yesterday.
No, he was invited, and it was alleged that he apologized. He was coerced to apologize to the woman before the husband. And why the guy was even safe was just because he comes from a particular place. He comes from a particular place. We are in a very pluralized society where impunity, where there is no unity, where nobody. By now, if it was during Jonathan or during any administration before Buhari, Tunde Bakare, Wole Soyinka, all of them, even Dino Melaye, they would have occupied Nigeria. Now Nigeria is empty, nobody to occupy them. The emptiness of Nigeria now is overwhelming. And if you try to occupy, you will not see any space. So this thing is the woman is the most. I think the woman is very, very unfair. That woman at that level. I was looking at her picture. I saw I even saw Buhari. I didn't recognize Buhari of today.
Yeah.
And the Nigerians that were feeling fat that time, you have made to look like you 2019, 2015. Buhari has exchanged his family with Nigerians. Just for only one family, exchange the family with Nigerians. So you begin to, I don't want to believe there is the students of this day, what the NANS was doing was issuing press release.
Yes.
Issuing a statement. That is to tell you that NANS has become.
What would you have done during your time?
No, let me tell you. That is to tell you that NANS has become a barking dog that cannot bite.
Toothless bulldog.
Calling it a bulldog, a toothless dog. During our days we walk before that thing will happen. We have taken to the street of anywhere we were. You will come and beat us there. You will come and we will sing. You go beat us there. How many students police go kill?
Comrade, trillions have been expended to fight insecurity in this country, but it seems to have remained, to have not been abated, and in fact it has even escalated. Because I'm asking this question, or I'm saying this because just yesterday, worshippers in Katsina said about 46 of them were abducted while worshiping, including their imam. And the funny part of it is that the bandits are demanding for new neural notes that has not even been released.
Who told you that have been released? The bandits have new neural notes.
They have it.
Who told you? Which people manufacture the new neural notes?
Do you have it?
They are the people that printed, that minted the note. You are telling me that. Who told you? You are just here because you don't know what's happening. Some people are merchants in this business of insecurity.
Okay.
And some people, if it cannot go until a certain people die. So if you like insecurity saga.
Yes.
Even in the village of Mr. President, that is Katsina. That ordinarily those who occupied Nigeria during Jonathan should have occupied this village by now, saying go. That is the irony of the whole nonsense, that nobody, even those who were running, cannot walk again now. Those who were walking are crawling now. So those who were crawling that time have gone back to their mother's wombs. So the point now is that you talk about insecurity, we only beg God. We only beg God that they don't hand over to those bandits. They don't. This government, does not call them to hand them over to say, come and be the... You saw what happened in Afghanistan. Yes. What happened? Yeah. Gradually, they are coming close to Villa. President Villa is a president immediate state. Is almost Villa.
But Nigerians have a date with history in the next 2 months or so to decide who will be the next president.
The Nigerians have never had a date with history. As long as our electoral electoral process remains the way it is, your fate will be determined by some people. And that is why some of us are saying, God, determine our fate and have us to contend with.
Don't you trust this current President INEC?
Was it not the same Mahmoud that was there 2019? Has he been all the blood in his
2019 is gone.
That is, without 2019, we won't be talking about 2023. It's the same Mahmoud. He said more things than this.
But from all they are doing, the strategy they are putting in place, particularly the beavers and the smart card reader, don't you think it will curb corruption and
until you unbundle, until you remove INEC from the exclusive list of federal government?
But is Mahmoud not proving difficult?
No, what is difficult? May I talk? Is Buhari not? Is Bola Tinubu not talking? Is Bola Tinubu not talking tough?
Okay.
Is he not talking tough? What is going to Ekiti Ondo say you're going to replace this and what is talking tough? Put it to action. Buhari didn't win 2019 presidential election. It was won by Atiku. Everybody knows it was. So why are you telling me? Wasn't Mahmoud there when the Nigerians decided their fate and they said it was going to be Atiku? And he was there under his watch, and the election was rigged. And he openly said there was no the elections were not posted in their portal or their server or what. So you don't deceive people like us by mere talking tough. We know those people. They will come and tell you now, hey, we will do the best. You will go and sleep. They wake up by midnight. When you are sleeping, you are finished doing your midnight prayer. They will wake up by 1 a.m. That time you will be thinking you are sleeping with somebody. They will go to their shrine, change the arrangement. You wake up and think that everything is fine. They will tell you, but we said it. That is what you would think. They are not. We are not until we remove INEC, police, and some other serious agencies that will enhance both security and electoral free and fair election in Nigeria. Put them in the hands of people that will determine. Let the people decide. Do electoral poll. Do poll. Let Nigerians nominate few persons, 10, and let Nigerians go and vote. Let everybody go and let everybody take a reverend father, take an imam, post them, let them go. If they betray their consciences, may God punish them. So we will begin to get things right. But as long as our faith is being kept in the care of those mindless people called politicians in this country, 2019, you will see what will happen in 2023. You will see what will happen. You will see it. God forbid they will announce Bola Tinubu as president. You and I will not do anything. As you could not have done anything since rice. The bag of rice is going to be 50,000 naira by next tomorrow. In fact, anytime I go to market, if I buy something with difference of 1,000, I know the next 3 days the 1,000 is going to come up.
If it's announced, heavens will not fall.
Has heaven fallen since Buhari has been torturing us mentally and economically?
Multi-party democracy is said to be very, very good. But how good is having 18 presidential candidates for a country like Nigeria?
Yeah, there's nothing bad about that, because you could have the best, so to say, least political party. That could be where we will have the best person that could have done better. So God, in His infinite mercy, knows how He does His thing. God can gather all those people, all those other bad people, put them in a particular aircraft, go and crash them, for Nigeria to be better. So that person, that is why multi-party system most times, because if you say two or three, you will now limit your hope to two worst elements.
Okay.
Now, if you have like 15, 18, I'm not holding brief for anyone. Maybe those ones, it could be SDP, it could be AA, it could be anything. Then God will say, for my word to come to pass. Because God's word definitely must come to pass. And He can do that, He can make that happen through any means that will be so mysterious to anyone.
Okay, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, Comrade Mwadwa Bichi Capacity is going to take us through his feelings about the discovery of oil in Nigeria. It's already generating controversy between Bauchi State and Gombe State. But that will be after the short break. Please don't go anywhere.
Television Nigerian is one of the leading giants in Nigeria's digital broadcasting. We deliver quality productions to clients from all sectors of life. We are experts in program streaming, event coverage, news reporting, adverts, documentaries, personality profiling, skits and jingles. You can advertise now on Television Nigerian network platforms or sponsor programs like The Patriot, Spectacle, Business Daily, Security Dossier, and other programs. To publicize your business from ground state to the zenith, we have the capacity to introduce, promote, and publicize your businesses to increase patronage. We associate with quality to attract clients like you. Television Nigerian is your media solution.
Your body bang, bang, your body bang, your body bang, bang, your body bang, your body bang, your body bang. And I give us when you take a selfie, when you take a pose, you the ginger the boy. Every time you bend the low, come on girl, when you take a selfie, when you take a pose, you the ginger the boy. Every time you bend the low.
Want to shoot a dope music video at 50% discount?
50% discount?
Yeah, 50% discount. Bougie down to Television Nigerian with world-class equipment and a badass expert crew.
Oga, face your camera now. Shh. Continue.
Where was I? Everything extra.
Carolina, you bada.
Hurry up.
If you are just joining us, this is Daybreak Africa on Television Nigeria. My name has not changed. It is still Macaulay Honohashi. Still with us on set is Comrade Cardinal Comrade Mwadabichi Edede Capacity. Very, very loaded names. He's still doing justice to our conversation, taking a look at Nigerian politics, the journey so far. Like before we went on that short break, I was asking you, Nigeria has just discovered, Nigeria is an oil-producing country and the 6th largest in the world, so to speak. And the recent discovery of oil in the north has, generated a lot of euphoria within that region, expectedly. But it has also generated despondency and despair and disagreement between two contiguous states, Gombe and Bauchi State, with regards to the location of the oil wells, because about 4 of them are said to be at the border post. Don't you see a repeat of the Niger Delta debacle in this city?
Yeah. First of all, since the discovery of oil in Niger Delta, Bayelsa precisely, they so to say, the northern region had not had any rest of mind. They have always seen it as a discrepancy, as dichotomy, So they have always been doing everything. If I was telling someone, I said, don't be surprised. These women have gone to bury fuel tank on that place and drill it and load it with crude oil and they ask somebody to come and discover it so that they will say not is oil producing zone. There is nothing that cannot happen in this country. So even the one we have how far have we fared with it? Mm-hmm. So what are you discovering? We are talking about living oil as a source of our economy and living. You are just trying to cause more problem by discovering oil somewhere. What use is going to? We're talking about digitalizing digital economy. We're talking about leaving the oil and discovering other aspects of running the affairs of this country. We have oil. Are we not being impoverished more? Like you said, we are the 6th largest oil producing country in the world, in quotes.
Yes, in quotes.
We OPEC, every time we do this, Ukraine is fighting with Russia. It should help us as a oil producing state. How far have we fared? Even when the money per barrel has increased, does anybody say it? But when it was 26 naira, Lai Mohammed was every day making statements with that. this morning I was looking at APC's spokesman on AIT. I was listening to him when he said when it was 26 naira, they budgeted 200 naira. When it was this, that, and why can't we flourish as a foreign nation? Why can't we enjoy in plenty? Why must we glorify our land in poverty? So the discovery of oil there for me is of no consequence, both negative and positive. They just did that in Buhari is going. They want to create like a euphoria where they will say, we are here. Tomorrow now you will see somebody move motion to create Northeast Niger Delta, Northeast Delta, what they call it, oil producing commission.
Yes.
So that is the politics.
And attract the
revenue. And if they put 2 trillion naira NDDC, they will put 3 trillion here.
Yes.
They will, after all, they will even, their commission will even be constituted only by the northerners. They will not bring any southerners. That is the issue. So the issue, everything is politics. That's what I'm telling you. I believe in Nigeria. I believe we can prosper if we do the right thing. Nigeria is a huge and large market for me. The Southeast as a nation wouldn't give me the kind of space I want to, ventilate and show my capacity and talent. So, but you find out that in a society like in a country like Nigeria, you wouldn't even pray to be part of the system. So the discovery of oil there is a mere gimmick. Is a political arrangement towards 2023. So that just watch it, before the election, you will see somebody, the National Assembly will convene now and to deliberate on and discuss on that oil discovery. They have not deliberated on the insecurity. They have not talked about the poverty ravaging Nigerians. They have not talked about ASU, talking about them embarking on strike again. They have not talked about how Buhari wife, in a democratic setting, the Senate President, the constituent, the representative of that young man that was being incarcerated by Buhari's wife should have raised a motion. If I were in the National Assembly, I will call the Speaker immediately, and if Speaker does not reconvene the House, if we reconvene, I will make it an issue. So we need to sanitize the society. We are in a society where mad people rule us, people who don't have conscience. You can look at Buhari. They are telling us that Buhari is trying to ground aircraft, private jets of others. The Buhari's Nigerian private jets are littered everywhere in the foreign countries, paying a heavy amount of dollars and pounds on our behalf, and we don't know. So we are in a society where the money we have, even though share Nigerians 1 million, now we are 200 million, right? Bring 200 billion. Share that money, share everybody, every Nigerian 1 million. They will tell you to go to hell with Nigeria. People will survive. Let inflation kill us. And you are not giving anybody. Let Nigerians benefit from their country. Let's look. You look at that. How many police guarding Nigeria? Not up to 300,000 police personnel. Army. How many? Not up to 200,000 army personnel. Other people are in different offices. Soaking themselves in ACs and all that. Now you cannot recruit. There's a huge gap between employment and unemployment in Nigeria. The young people, look at how many people that are jumped out from the universities and NYSC centers. No employment, nothing. That is why I want to go to National Assembly. Fine. That is why I want to go there and ask question. Why a Nigerian of 24 years wouldn't have a meaningful job? Not job, a meaningful and gainfully being employed. Okay. Why can't we? Tell me why. Let us ground the country. Let everybody be ruling themselves in their families. Instead, than we are in this country, that the resources are there. A particular person, a particular group of cartel, are now, you see them, they start all these monies outside the
Talking about resources, I know that the northern region is blessed with enormous mineral deposits, endowed by God, and ranging from bitumen,
gold, everything,
including that oil that so much attention is being put on, and the country has not been able to harness, and exploit those. Why the focus on oil?
No, Nigeria cannot. That is, I told you that politics. Because every time they will say Nigeria Delta, this and that, Tompolo. Okay. They gave Tompolo. Now they will now create another Tompolo. Yeah, they will now create another Tompolo there now, and maybe they will bring Kabiru Sokoto, and they will bring him now and say, this is a Northeast oil producing militant. They will tell him to take over all the oil wells that have not been created in northern Nigeria. They will give him 2 trillion. And say, yes, we get Tompolo, this one, Nemasa. They will create Nemasa there now. Northern Nemasa. They will create seaport there. On top of that dry land now, you see seaport because it's oil. So that is the politics, that is what we're talking about. And when you talk about all those issues, when you see politics than reality, we chase issues, we chase shadows in this country, we believe in rhetorics and we don't pursue issues. So that is why some of us, we are like, I mean, we cannot remain like this. We cannot remain like this, and nobody can change us. So what we want to do is that we want to come and champion the revolution, the mental revolution this time. Because each time we were in school, we protest, they will arrest us, they will kill some of us, they will detain us, they will incarcerate us, they will rusticate us, and we became so vulnerable. But God has guided us all these years. We didn't die. So we realize that God has a lot of things he wants to do with us. So now we are here. Our prayer is that those who want to stop us, may they die, because Nigeria must survive. So we are coming to National Assembly to ask questions. I am a journalist. Why wouldn't my profession be regulated properly? Yeah. Why would it be only Nigerian Medical Association? Why would it be Nigerian Bar Association? Why would it be? And these are my profession is the best profession ever. Without journalism, there is no governance. The fourth estate of the regime. Without journalism, there is no life. Because you dish out what people do for people to see.
Set agenda.
You set agenda. You hold politicians. You hold them ransom. You hold them accountable. So if we can come, I know how many times I was incarcerated in the name of practicing journalism. I know how many times a governor attempted assassination attempt, and I had my intestines in my palms after the governor thought I died, but I didn't die. It was 2019. The governor apologized. The former governor apologized to me. I had this assassins were sent because I wrote an article condemning a particular policy or project that you are dredging with 9 billion, and I called it waste of economy, and I analyzed why it was waste of economy, and he called me to take some money. I said I wasn't going to take. He called the one to call me to order. I told the one I wasn't going to take. So now he devised the means of eliminating himself. So, and I caused him the second time. So the issue is that we would, anytime, if it is not the will of God that we will die, we will not die. God planted us for something very.
Now you are from a region that has, been agitating for decades for self-actualization, and there is a proscribed group called IPOB, Indigenous Peoples of Biafra. Their leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has been in incarceration for about 8 months now, after he was abducted, so to speak.
You are right.
From Kenya. Now, how deep is that? Because his issue has been politicized.
Yeah, it is. It is still the politics. Don't forget, he is kept in a more secured environment, Yellow House, where you can't penetrate no matter how much your ammunition. But the worst bandits in this country, in the history of this country, we are kept in a Face Me I Face You building called the Kuje Correctional Center, built with mud, no solid block. Those people went there, they didn't even bust anywhere, they just went there and opened the door, they left, but they kept Nnamdi Kanu there. So the truth is that is why, and it is that agitation. In as much as how far have they gone in proscribing all these other Fulani herdsmen that have been fingered over the years? How many times have they even arrested or prosecuted any of them? That is the politics we are talking about, Nigeria, and that is why people like us are coming to the National Assembly. We are coming to ask questions. Why would Nnamdi Kanu be kept in Yellow House that is fortified? Then those people who unleashed mayhem, and some of them escaped from the prison break, they have not been recaptured. They are waiting for 2023 election so that they will patronize them. And that is what we're saying. We're saying, Nnamdi Kanu, and it is going to be worse if you don't do the needful this time around. We don't want the secession is a mind thing this time. Nobody is, because if you protest, the anti-democratic government will unleash their arsenals, they are dissing on you, and you will be trampled upon, you will be killed. Nobody will say anything. No inquest, nothing. So let him be there. Like everybody is saying. And we are other intellectual Nnamdi Kanu, but we cannot go violent. So what we're saying is that the issue of equity in a country where equity is denied, in a country where there is no fairness, in a country where there is no justice, and the only thing you should expect is chaos. The only thing you should expect is crisis. The only thing you should expect is calamity and catastrophe. So what we're saying now is that may Nnamdi Kanu not die. May God save them. Let him not die. I am not his fan. I'm not his fan. I am not a member of IPOB. I am a Biafran. I am not a member of IPOB. You can be a member of IPOB. You will be a member of Biafran.
Can you be a Biafran and a Nigerian at the
same
time?
Yes. I am proud to be a Biafran. I'm not an IPOB. An IPOB is an offshoot of the kind of ideology as Biafrans. Just like some people will tell you that they are not a member of Fulani herdsmen, but they are Fulanis.
Okay, take us through the political, economic, and social implications of Monday's sit-at-home.
Yeah, to be frank with you, is killing us, the Easterners, more. Because I don't see any reason for that. Because, like I was talking about, when this Boko Haram, they were doing they were killing, abducting innocent people, shooting, and defenseless and vulnerable school children. I said, why don't you come to National Assembly and kidnap senators? Why don't you come here and bombard National Assembly? Let them have a rethink. Let them know that there is fire on the mountain. Leave those guys these people have impoverished and you are killing them. So for me, the people that they sit at home is only affecting the artisans. It's affecting those who have the money will always relax in their houses, drive in their Porsche cars and with their security and all that. Wait for Tuesday to come. But you see those people who would go out there to Vulcanizer, that will go and pump tire, daily income earners. They will go there and pump tire. No, you will not see him. He will go hungry that day. Maybe probably the Tuesday before he will come, he would have suffered for ulcer. Now you see bikers, you see transporters, you see all those people. They will go sit somewhere and they will not have any. Their means of livelihood would have been, put to a halt just for certain reasons that are not meant to be. So for me, I would have advocated that the issue of sit at home, like some of them enjoy it though, some of them enjoy it even when they are suffering, they are still believing it's something that is worth doing. So, but I would have suggested that if you want to do sit at home, do it where it will affect the economy of the country, not impoverishing a section of the country.
Okay, let's discuss Ekiti. Adeleke has been sworn in, and he has complained yesterday that Oyetola set traps for him shortly before he handed over. He said he's dismantling everything.
Yeah.
How do you
and I support him. I have no friend. I support whatever action the Adeleke will take, because this man could not conduct local government election all his 4 years or thereabout. Only for him to start conducting election 1 month to hand over. You did not appoint permanent secretaries all these years. Only for you to start appointing permanent secretaries a few days to your. You did not increase salary. You did not, all those things you didn't do.
Okay.
Then because you knew you were going, and if he had won that election, he could not have done all those things. So you are now putting this man in a very tight corner by letting him come and inherit what he will not be able to withstand.
Okay.
So this man now, in his wise, how would I put it? In his wise reasoning, he should know that the best thing to do is to send those people packing from all these places this guy has put them. For me. Yeah. It will not take me 1 minute. I will sack all of them. All of them. Because it doesn't make sense. You are building your structure under somebody that doesn't know about the structure. So those people that you inaugurated as local government chairman, councillors, you appointed this and you appointed that, are still going to be loyal to you, and they are going to frustrate this man's administration. So we are in a society where if somebody is not related to you, the person wouldn't support you. Yeah. And that is what we want to unbundle. And if this man, if he wants to run a very smooth administration, he has to bring those who have been suffering with him, those who campaign for him, those, if he wants to appoint local government caretaker, like we have in Nigeria, he has to appoint his local government coordinators during this election. So these people should come and, I believe, eat from the milk where the state has prepared for them. So Oyetola doing all those things, it's just being mischievous. It's just being, insane. I don't buy that idea.
Okay, I'm sure. I don't know if you are a fan of Wike, but let's take a look at the G5.
I'm not. I can never be a fan of.
Let's take a look at the G5. Yesterday, Oton Boy of Wike. Why does he have to say so? Because Wike has been the leader of the group. Yeah. And people say it's because of the enormity of the wealth that he's sitting on. Yeah. That's why they are following him.
Yes. Now, if Wike can be giving at Otom the allocation federal government gives to Benue, why wouldn't he be an errand boy? Exactly. But what are we here to achieve? Is it not to achieve success? Yes. I'm going to a National Assembly. Is it not to make my people look okay? Yes. It's not to advance the cause of my career. You're right. So if he benefits what nobody can give him, he should be errand boy to him. After all, if the essence of taking allocation from government is to subject all governors to being errand boy to the presidency. So for me, I'm not a fan of Wike, but most of the things Wike does, I buy them. Okay. But some of the things he does too, I don't like them. So I am being fair. If I were Otom, I wouldn't have come to listen to that. Don't forget, at a time when nobody was around Benue, it was Wike that was there for them. You understand? It is only fair. It is only justified that Otom should identify with somebody who showed him love when everybody jettisoned them. I don't know if you get the point.
Yeah,
so,
I do.
Yeah, so it's not about him coming out to say he's not an errand boy. How can a governor be an errand boy to a colleague? So what we're saying is that Wike is more, the enormosity of wealth in Rivers could compel anybody to be errand boy.
How injurious is that G5 decision, to work against Atiku? How injurious is it?
It's not injurious. It's determinant. It's not, injury can be won here, but it's a determinant G5.
Okay, it's a determinant.
Yes, it's a determinant group. It's a determinant group. The level is, if you need 3 million. Just take for instance now. There are three states in this country that determine who wins presidency.
Yes.
In this country. You have Kano, you have Lagos, you have Rivers.
Okay.
You get, before you now begin to talk about other states that could bring 1,500,000 and what have you, going by the rigging process in this country. We don't go by INEC or what people vote. Going by the normal rigging, exercise. So Rivers at least would have nothing less than 3 million votes. You don't forget, Atiku used to have 11 million or thereabout.
11 million.
11 million.
Yes.
When Rivers, Benue, Enugu, Abia put together. Now, I think those who were advising Atiku never advised him very well. Because in this kind of situation, what you do is that you stoop to conquer.
Yeah.
Even this guy may be erratic, this guy may be this, you pretend like they will even advise us. You pretend to be fool to get what you want. Obasanjo did it to Atiku. I think Obasanjo went as far as kneeling down before Atiku and said, please forgive me if I have offended you. You're my vice. Please, I want us to go again. Don't run. Atiku thought a fool was kneeling down before him. Now the fool is holding him on ground till tomorrow. So if Atiku can never be, just mark it somewhere, it will be very difficult for PDP Atiku to be president in 2023 without the support of those 5 governors.
Okay, on that note, we'll take a short breather. When we come back, Comrade Madobichi Edede capacity will take us through what the electoral law stipulates that will determine who will be announced as Nigeria's president. Because if I remember very, very well and vividly, 2 things are involved. The president that will be announced must have overall votes, and he must also win 2/3 of the states, including the FCT. That is 24 states out of 36 plus FCT. But that will be after the break. Please stay.
Hello viewers, Television Nigeria bring you greetings in the Yuletide season. Still on the street to know the chances and acceptability of candidates in the forthcoming general election. What chances do you think politicians stand in gaining our votes as a people? Please come with me as we sample the opinion of the people.
Yes, they stand a chance because an election has to take place. That is which is very important for the nation. So no matter how it goes, they stand a chance. It might not be all of them, but they stand a chance.
So we need somebody who will deliver us who can listen to we, the Nigerians as citizens, who will not only look at his own side or who is somehow practicing nepotism or corruption. So we need somebody who can deliver. We don't want to repeat all this, the same government, the same policy, the same thing all the time. We need a new Nigerian. People who can listen, people who can change Nigeria. We need a fresh blood by the grace of God.
Tulubu mutumin kirki ne, mutumin kware ne, mai adalci ne, mai kafa mutane ne. In Allah ya yarda, Allah ya ba Tulubu wannan. Shi muke so. Ba ma san Peter Obi, ba ma san Kwankwaso, ba ma san Atiku. Tulubu muke so. Maganan kenan, wallahi sai Tulubu. Tulubu.
Keep away tribalism by this one from this one from this. I am not from this, I'm not from that. If they can keep that alone and bring themselves together to pick one person that you know that can make this better in this country, I think that would be good. This P2B, I think he will do well because he was once ruled as a governor of Anambra State. and he does well. And the way I'm seeing it, Peter Obi is not somebody that will come to, as in, to divide Nigeria or lens. I think he will bring the country together. Everybody will be as one, and the things will be better.
And just choose whoever can come in and do the job properly. Because if you look at it, the whole zoning and the whole picking tribes has not done us any good for a long time, because they pick people from different tribes and different zones, and they come in and they do what they can do, which has not been good for the past 16 plus 8, 24 years in democracy so far. I think the military were the only ones who didn't pick religion or tribe, they just picked the soldier. But now we have, this is what we are, we have to accept that. So right now, everybody's vying for, what's his name, Peter Obi and his VP. That's where everybody's going. But even if he comes in and takes the mantle, he's still going to rule the country. And there's a lot of people here that don't want the country to be ruled properly, because if you start ruling the country properly, a lot of things will be taken away from them and from their people. Some say the people in the north will not accept it. There will be war, whatever is coming. I don't know, until the time comes. I don't really have a candidate. I never have. Not in the first one or the previous one, the one before. I always wanted to have somebody that will come in and rule the country properly, which we have not seen so far. And if you come in there, you want to do the job, you always find ways to cut you down. I never was, never have been. I mean, if it were fair, yeah, I would. I would very, very be involved, but it's never been fair. It won't be fair for a long time, because it hasn't been fixed yet. The electoral INEC is compromised. The parties are doing their own thing. The whole body that's supposed to run the elections is very, very compromised. Recently, they said they found some PVC cards from people who are not even Nigerians. So they didn't get that in 2 days in. They didn't get that in like 10 minutes later. Those things have been put in there for a long time. So if you're finding that recently, then that means you people knew they were already here, but then somebody's putting the heat on you, so you have to bring some. Now they said they found some. That means there's still more in there. And whenever they decide to use it, that's on them. I mean, like, I feel like people will always vote. Those votes, some of them might count, some of them won't. That's just the truth about the whole thing. Some of them will never ever count, because the truth is there's going to be a lot of rigging to go. If the people in this part of the country were to put themselves together and choose one candidate, they might have a chance to choose the candidate that they feel that is going to do the job. But if there's this divide going on between the candidates that are in this part of the country, which is meaning like the middle belt and all the way down to the west, then when the people in the north start coming, it's going to be another one of them. Because in the last election, Atiku was almost there, and then Kano, Katsina, and what's the other state again? There were 3 of them. They brought their votes in. We're saying Buhari will be getting like 15 million from one state, 7 million from one state. So if you don't control that part of the election, then it's going to be the same thing. And that's a waste of my time. I won't be voting for what I know. At the end of the day, they're also going to bring in people from one part of the country, and then everything will be messed up. So I can choose Peter Obi, because if so many people are vying for somebody, then there's something there. Yeah. So many people, like majority of the country on this part is vying for this guy. So I feel there's something there. But if you don't control the people in the north, that's the truth too. If you don't control the people in the north, then you don't have a chance. And that is where the whole election lies. Because I drive both once in a while. So one time I was driving a guy from the north, and then he spoke Hausa to me, and then I didn't respond. And then he said, "I don't speak Hausa." I said, "No, I don't." Then he said, "You should learn." I said, "For what?" He said, "Because we rule this country." He said it to me straight, like, we rule this country. If we don't vote for you, we won't win. So that is from somebody that's like from an ordinary guy. So imagine the people that are on top. If this little guy has this mindset, that means the people that are there have this mindset too. So that's the way it goes. So I don't get involved in something that I can't control. If I could control the elections with everybody else, then yes. But no.
Yes, my people, we are back from the streets and have been able to gather the people's opinion about candidates in the forthcoming general election. Please, vote wisely, like they have advised. Beauty Akbarido, Television, Nigeria.
Back. If you are just joining us, this is Daybreak Africa on Television Nigeria, and that was our own adorable Beauty Akbarido. With that Vox Populi, on the streets, Nigerians bearing their minds on the expectations of 2022 general elections. But Comrade Franklin Madu-Ebuchi Edede is still with us in the studio. You have heard Nigerians bearing their minds on their expectations. But in that interview, there is a preponderance about support for one presidential candidate, and most of them are Nigerian youths, talking about the Obedient movement and the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. What do you think?
Yeah, Peter Obi, a fine man, a decent man, so to say. But the problem of this country is that you can't predict this country. Nigeria is a country that you can't just wake up and say it is morning or evening. You must rule out the next minute. So for me, this election will be determined by whoever INEC wants to emerge.
Okay, do you think so?
Yes. So until we get it right, INEC as the umpire has never, to me, I don't believe we've gotten it right from there. So your vote, again, those who are even shouting obedient, those who are saying obedient, are not, majority of them don't have permanent voter cards. Majority of them don't have don't have permanent voter cards. So if what we feel is the way it will go, the powers that be will still determine what happens, because with the rot that have happened within under the nose and supervision of Buhari, I don't think they will want to sleep.
They won't sleep.
They won't sleep to see another person come and discover all those rots. So for us, we have a lot of things to do. If Peter Obi emerges president, fine. I know he was governor of Anambra State. I have nothing against him. I cannot criticize him. I can't. That he's a fine man. His presidency will be fine. My fears are just within things I can't just say about other candidates.
Let me ask you this question again. The backdrop of the provisions of the electoral law. The electoral law specifically mentions that for anyone to be announced as the next president of Nigeria, that is the new electoral law, two things must happen. He must have the majority vote, and we have 95 million registered voters in this country as of today. Number one, you have to have the majority
95
votes.
million, they have all not collected their PVCs.
Exactly. And then secondly, you must win 24 states.
Including FCT.
Out of 36, including FCT. So I want you to take us through, using the three, frontline presidential candidates, to tell us, hypothetically, because it may not be the final prediction. Hypothetically, where do you think Peter Obi will hold sway by winning states, putting states in his pocket, and where Atiku you think can put states in his pocket, and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, from your own perspective?
Like you said, hypothetically, the issue is that if you conduct this poll today, Peter Obi will win.
Across the
more than 24 states, he will win.
He will win.
But the problem here is that these people are...
Mention the states.
No, you don't need to mention states, because you check the states, check Plateau State, check Nasarawa State, where you come to, check South, the entire South, the entire Southeast. You understand? No, let's take for instance the Southeast, South. He will hands down.
Okay.
Because people are not joking anymore. People are not happy anymore. The suffering is too much in this country.
Okay.
Because Peter Obi has spoken. He has Peter Obi. One thing.
Will win well.
Yeah, let me come. Nigerians believe in what they want to hear. Peter Obi has spoken to them. He has given them the joker. The joker that I will reduce cost of governance.
I'm incorruptible.
And this were Buhari's tactics and mantra that Buhari at the time cried even
Yes.
Said I wept that Indomie and that my people, the Talakawas, can no longer afford Indomie and macaroni and spaghetti. That was why they said, this one. So this one, they said, Baba. They went and bought their dagger, put it. If you say no, Baba, they will choke you immediately.
Say Baba.
Say Baba. If you say Baba, they buy your life. So now we have come again. Peter Obi is a different thing about Peter Obi is he's younger. He's more.
He's 69.
No, he's younger. But with what you told us was more than 70 years at the time. Now he's younger. He's more exposed. He's more exposed. He's been governor, a civilian governor. Buhari was not a civilian. Buhari was a military head of state. But he's a Democrat. At least he's not a military man. He believes in civility, and he has friends across board. He has friends across board, and he has business. He's a businessman.
So what would stop him from becoming president if you believe he's going to win?
No, what would do what?
What would stop him?
No, that's what I'm saying. I said we have INEC to contend with here. The only thing that can stop it to be as it is. But I know this. I'm not ruling out the possibilities of those other people to win because, like I said, the APC are not sleeping. They are doing everything to make sure. In fact, they want to go to heaven to get whatever will take them to make sure they undo Peter Obi and Atiku. Okay. That is the level. They have all the ICT, all the digital efforts they are making. Nigerians know. So if INEC, if the PVAS can be manipulated. To the extent that if you put 110, if you put 10, they will add another 20, it will become 1,000. They are going to do it. They can pay anything. They are going to do it, and that is the much they have. Then PDP Atiku is, for me, I think it's not being sensitive to the issues concerning his victory. It's not being sensitive because I could not have envisaged Atiku, undermining the impact of Wike's and G5. You understand? On him, them not working for him. So any imam that's been telling him that he could succeed without them, I think the person is not being fair. So you can go to Delta because there is a gang up against Okowa in Delta State because of this 100 and something billion oil derivation Buhari released recently. Instead of doing him good, is tarnishing his image more. So people are now, there is a revolution going on there. People are mobilizing, and they are mobilizing against PDP. They are for APC. That is leaving a frying pan to go into fire. So that is the kind of place where. But if you come like a state like my state, where I can give it to my governor, he's doing well. I don't know any brief. I'm not of his party, but there are certain infrastructural developmental projects he has embarked on that if even as an activist, if I don't give him credit, I would be doing myself disservice. So there are places like Peter Obi will have his way. In Imo, don't forget, people are not talking about any other political party, any other candidate in Labour. They are talking about Peter Obi. Yes. Nobody is talking about any other political party in any Labour. Peter Obi is why people jump into Labour is just Peter Obi. But some Nigerians are misconstruing that. Some people are misunderstanding that. Some people are jumping with the ambition to contest one election or the other. It should have been a revolution for people to be like Lincoln, in Singapore and other. Yeah. So if now they will destroy P2B if care is not taken. If this election is shifted till April next year, P2B would have been brought down. Because of the caliber of people, the kind of way those who now invade that place will be running the affairs of. I met
someone who said he doesn't envy P2B. That especially if he becomes the next president, God willing, that he will not have majority in the both chambers of the National Assembly.
No, it doesn't. That
will be a problem.
No, that is not a problem. People like us will come in. I'm not of P2B's political party. If he comes with if I see P2B with executive bill, if I see him, if I see what his mindset, like the Buhari government manufactured the body language. If we see that his body language is geared towards emancipating the masses, people like us will kill.
Okay, let's talk about enough of Peter Obi and his ambition. Let's talk about Senator Albert Bassi, who is now in
correctional for 24 years.
42 years.
42 years.
He's been sentenced for 42 years. This was a gentleman who was on the same political page with the incumbent governor, Emmanuel Odom. And there was an agreement. He was Commissioner for Finance. He was Commissioner for Finance. And there was an agreement that he would support Emmanuel Odom from 2019 to 2023, and then Odom will hand over to him. And then all of a sudden, Odom decided to do otherwise. The man got angry and left the party and joined YPP. No, he got a ticket to fly the flag, as his governorship candidate. And then there was a case instituted by EFCC from between 2012 2011 to 2014 when he was commissioner. And he was found guilty of collecting about 12 vehicles that amounted to about over 200 million. And then he's in jail for 42 years, and he's in his 40s. How good is that? How good is that for our democracy?
No, for me, I don't want to finger Udom Emmanuel. Like you said, 2011 to 2014. 2014, that was when the case,
Yes.
So for me, it does not really matter. People fall out from time to time with each other. People fall out with each other from time to time. That doesn't mean that Udom probably could have manipulated the judicial system.
People say he has a hand.
If he has a hand, that is politics. So that is politics. If you can't beat them,
you join them.
Don't join them. You leave them. So if he knew before now, he should have known the handwriting on the wall that this man was not tilting. He was not, coming towards his way. So what he would ordinarily would have done is he would have, at least a senator. He's a senator. He's a serving senator. So for me, I don't want to dabble into judicial affair. It was a judge that gave the judgment.
Yes.
It went through the rigorous process of prosecution and all that. So he was tried, he was found guilty. So I want to believe that the Court of Competent Jurisdiction gave such a verdict, and going by our constitution, it is binding on whoever must be involved. So 42 years, if that would serve, if they will catch somebody, if this man, Accountant General, that stole 80 billion, and another one, his property, what trillions have been found in his name. If such man now will be convicted, I think you should be given 1,000 years jail term.
Okay.
You understand? If we do it, let him be jailed for 1,000 years, so that even when he will die and reincarnate, he will continue. So that people will begin to, if we begin to like Buhari government, and when Buhari will leave office now, all of those people who are, there is no person that is not corrupt in this government. You get all of them, you arraign them, you prosecute them, you jail them. In the next 10 years. Everybody, it will be like India, where if you steal a kobo, if you steal any dime of their currency, they find you guilty, they will sentence you to, they will even hang you.
Okay.
So people will begin to, not this kind of political sentencing that, this person had a rift with this person, he's just being manipulated and all that. Let us have independent. The other day, police IG was convicted. Has he been taken to Kuje prison?
Even
no.
The FCC boss.
The FCC boss, the other day, the first day here, the IG was begging not to take him to Kuje prison. You can imagine a society like that begging that he will not do it again, that he should please, because he's afraid of his position. Ordinarily, he should have resigned on pronouncement of that judgment
and proceed
to prison, and they go there and they will say, please, 3 months he is out, and the next IG would want to call his lawyer